If we look at Bitcoin creeping up. Bitcoin yesterday morning was sharply lower than when the stock market kind of rallied off the lows. This came off of its lows. It continues to push up a little bit. All of this price action, and I'll even go to the big board to just, have you guys fully understand this.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. Gareth Soloway explains why Bitcoin surged past $90,000, discussing market trends, investor strategies, and future potential. Join him in this video to explore what drives these crypto moves.
This doesn't matter to me. All of this. Remember when we were in here and we were just chopping in here and going like this and then like this and then like this? I basically came in here in the game plans and I said to you guys, doesn't even matter. All I care about is this level and this level as a trader, right? And I said when it breaks this level, it likely heads down. So now that it's broken, the bias remains negative. The only thing that would change me would be pure technical. Remember, this is all about probabilities and technical analysis. If we reconfirm back above this line, then it recaptures that line and could make its way up here. But right now, all of this doesn't matter. It's the downside support at basically 75 to 73. That's your favoring unless it reconfirms above this trend line. So again, the point here is that we all have our hopes and dreams. We have our favorite stocks, we have our favorite commodities, we have our favorite cryptos. And for us as traders and investors, you have to, if you want to be long-term successful, right, and be a trader, more of a swing trader. Listen, if you're a long-term investor, I guess, looking at 20-year horizon, you just want to pick quality names and hope that they do well and you'll ride the ups and the downs. No big deal. Markets generally go like this over time, right, sideways to up. But if you're someone like me who's swing trading, then you have to get rid of all your likes and dislikes on a company. It doesn't matter who runs the company. It doesn't matter what they produce. It doesn't matter any of that. You look at the chart. And what you need to know is the probabilities. And when you're below here, it favors downside. And if you reconfirm, you have to be okay with pivoting and saying, okay, well, it reconfirmed. Doesn't matter what I thought, what I felt. It reconfirmed. Bias flips back or probability flips back to the upside. And again, this is something that I work on nonstop, constantly. I've gotten very good because I've traded now for 26 years in total, but it's something that I always am working on, just like I work on managing position size and all of these things. It never gets over or never finishes. You never complete that journey because there's always room for improvement. And that's the important thing as well, folks. Those of you watching, you're watching and hopefully you're absorbing a lot of this information. Just keep absorbing. And there's always something new. Start looking at charts. Start analyzing them for yourself. Think about levels. Start getting in that logic mindset of technicals versus emotion. It will change everything about how you invest and trade and honestly make you a much better investor and trader.
Bitcoin appears to be on the brink of an epic rally, as analysts point to a weakening U.S. dollar and a surge in global liquidity. With money flowing back into the markets, conditions are now right for risk assets like Bitcoin and altcoins to experience significant gains. Experts note that the current environment, characterized by record levels of global money supply and easing economic pressures, is creating the perfect setup for a major price breakout. Andrew Dragosh, head of research at Bitwise, believes that rising liquidity will fuel Bitcoin's ascent, potentially pushing its value to new highs. The growing buzz around a possible U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve further adds to the market's excitement. With hints of favorable policy moves and institutional accumulation on the rise, investor sentiment is turning bullish. As traditional stock markets rebound and economic conditions improve, analysts are forecasting Bitcoin targets between $180,000 and $250,000. Meanwhile, market watchers are keeping a close eye on the U.S. dollar index, which is nearing a key support level that could drive further gains. Market optimism is contagious. With these positive signals converging, the crypto market seems poised for a dramatic bull run that could redefine the future of digital assets.
So ADP, guys, which again is private sector employment, it came in at 77,000. So that's much less than the anticipated or forecast 141,000. Now, what's the problem here, right? So if this was 6 months ago, the markets would be ripping higher because they'd be like, oh, the Fed is going to cut rates. We're going to see rates come down. This is fantastic. The problem is we now have inflation upticking and the Fed cannot cut rates. So this is the handcuffing that I've talked about for the last 6 months that I thought would start to occur. So what we actually saw here was your late day sell yesterday in the S&P. So we had kind of been rallying up. In fact, the S&P and the NASDAQ yesterday intraday had rallied up beautifully. Nice little intraday topping tail right here, technical reversal signal. And then we had the sharp 30-minute sell into the close. After hours, the markets kind of traded up and sideways nicely higher into and through and afterwards the Trump speech. But then this morning, right here is where we got that ADP private sector number, and you can see the markets have turned back lower. Now, where we currently sit is almost exactly where the markets closed yesterday. So essentially, the S&P is flat. Now, the problem here is that we did confirm a breakdown on the daily chart on the S&P 500. So again, it is now a confirmed breakdown based on yesterday's close below this upsloping channel or trend line. And that tells me that at this point, the bias has now flipped to generally negative for the markets from the uptrend. So again, just think about it simply. Like, what is an uptrend? Well, it's when markets stay within a zone and continue to climb higher. Of course, there's pullbacks along the way, but that's been an uptrend since 2023. Problem is, this is the first time we have now broken and confirmed below that trend. What does that mean? It means it's a break of trend, and it means the market is now vulnerable to further downside. And that's something we'll have to monitor very, very closely here to kind of see where things go. But right now, again, we're basically flat after being up. The S&P futures, by the way, were up as much as 35 points overnight, maybe even more than that. But now they are flat following the private sector jobs report. And that's going to make people very nervous for Friday's non-farm payrolls report that comes out at 8:30 on Friday morning. All right, so again, right now we're looking and seeing where the market goes today. Are we going to continue to collapse down, or can we get some sideways chop? The key here, though, if we start to bounce a little bit, this trend line, which has now been confirmed below, now becomes major resistance. That's what the confirmation signal tells you, is that it's a break in trend and that this solidifies now as a major resistance line. So even if we trade up there, the probabilities of the charts tell us that rejection should occur off of that level. And that's why it's a break of trend and a confirmed break of trend at this point. All right, let's get into some of these other charts as we get back to the computer here. And we'll just take a quick look at the QQQ. Qs today, same kind of deal, basically around the flat line here. Again, we're seeing stocks ranging in the mega caps from neutral to positive to fractionally negative, but nothing too much yet. Notice this trend line I put in yesterday for you guys. This one goes back to early January of 2023. This trend on the NASDAQ is still holding, but again, we are closing in on that trend line. And if this were to break, that would be another indicator of a market that is likely in a down pattern versus an uptrend.
Bitcoin is nearing its ultimate supply limit, capturing the attention of investors and market enthusiasts alike. With only 5.5% of its 21 million coins left to mine, the digital currency scarcity is becoming a defining characteristic, further cementing its reputation as a form of digital gold. This scarcity not only enhances its value proposition but also creates a sense of urgency among buyers as the remaining coins become increasingly coveted. Market activity has reflected this growing sentiment. Bitcoin's price surged by 5.51%, reaching $91,676.47, buoyed by heightened trading volumes and optimistic investor outlooks. Many attribute this rally to the anticipation of Bitcoin's upcoming halving event, which will reduce the rate at which new coins are introduced into the market. Historically, such supply contractions have preceded significant price gains, reinforcing investor confidence in Bitcoin's long-term prospects. Adding another layer of complexity, the U.S. government is considering the creation of a national crypto reserve that could include Bitcoin among other digital assets. Announced by President Donald Trump, this move aims to position the United States as a global leader in the crypto space. However, it also intensifies competition for the dwindling supply of Bitcoin, potentially driving demand even higher. Despite a slight drop in trading volume compared to previous days, liquidity remains robust, keeping the market dynamic. These combined factors are setting the stage for a transformative period in the cryptocurrency market, where scarcity and government interest could spark a new era of price momentum. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.